From a standing position, step your right foot forward for a high lunge. And to lower down, I like to put my hands on my hips, but you can also put your hands on your front thigh. Just try not to push down on it when you lower. So lower down. From here, this is where you want to put blocks under your hands. I'm moving into Ardha Bhujangasana, which is basically a deep back bend. It's like cobra on the knee. So basically, you want to lift the sternum up and press your fingertips into blocks, the highest setting first, and then set them down a little bit lower if you feel comfortable enough, okay? Then slowly lifting up. Right hand on right thigh or ankle, left hand to left foot. Now here's another move that your shoulder might not want to do. You don't have to do this little quad stretch, but I like it. My front thigh bone is also turned out a little bit to the right side. Slowly release the foot, draw the right leg straight-ish, flex the foot, extend the spine long, otherwise known as half splits. Bend into the front knee, put the left hand down, tuck the back toes, high lunge legs for a moment, and then turn all your toes to the right. So you have a side plank for the left leg, and the right foot is flat or it could be turned out. Arm overhead, getting a nice long diagonal, and then step to side plank or some other variation. You could put the left knee down if you so wish. Lifting the foot and gently putting your right foot behind. For wild things, stretch over if you feel comfortable enough. Otherwise, just keep the hand up or even hand on hip to come around like this. Now, you don't have to do that move. You can put the foot down and then step into pigeon. But if you're going to do it, keep the arm as steady as possible. Here I am pressing down, but also lifting up. Again, hands could be on blocks, but I'm at the beach. I didn't bring them with me. So see how I'm lifting up to go over to the foot versus pulling the foot to me? That's the way I do this. Keep the extension and the lifting and try not to grab and pull. At least that's what works for me. So the chest is lifting. You don't have to do this whole business with pigeon. It's just kind of what I do in my practice, okay? From here, again, another quad style stretch. Your shoulder might not turn like that, so that's okay. You can do resistance here as I am. You can do hand or the forearm. Hands down, tuck the back toes, and then turn slightly to sit onto the thigh bone. And then I have a 90-90 position here, and I'm getting as much of a seat as possible. The back thigh bone is rolling in a little bit. Internal rotation. I like to do these dips. So I'm seated and then turning towards the front shin, doing a slow dip. Here you can see it again. Lowering. And lifting, trying to keep everything else the same. There are other things you can do here, but I'm trying to keep it simple, right? From here, with as much control as you can, pick up the back knee and come around to seated spinal twist. I like to hook my elbow around and sit tall. I know there are other variations. You do you. This is what I'm sharing here. The back hand is quite close. Stay tall, do a little bit of a twist if you desire the other direction. Try not to let the hips tip too much. I mean, but a little bit is fine. It's natural. Then from here, turning over onto the other side, come back to those high lunge legs where we began. And then slowly lower the back knee down. We basically just turned around and we're going through the same process. So slowly lowering the hips, fingertips on your blocks again. Lift the chest up or the sternum, right? Don't let the head go back like a Pez dispenser. You have to be able to support it. From here, hand to ankle or elbow on thigh or forearm on thigh works quite well. A hand on a block there inside the ankle is another move I usually do. Let the foot go down very gently. Try not to do the spring-loaded thing, right? And then we're setting up for that side plank variation. First, do high lunge with a twist with the arms up. Then turn the toes, and the back leg is side plank. And then step to side plank. pause here, keep the chest wide, and then if you like, wild thing, bring the foot behind you. You don't have to flatten it like I am. That's just quite easy for me, okay? Also, on the beach, it's just better. It's just better for me to do that. Otherwise, I might slide out. Lifting the knee very slowly, turning the knee around. The back leg's doing a lot of work here. Then I come around to that pigeon shape, But here's the thing. Notice that I lifted up right away. I'm not letting myself sink. There's a lift all the way up through my chest. Hands would be on blocks if I had them. Where's that foot? Ah, there it is. See, I don't want to grab and pull. From here, I am going to give myself a quad stretch because it's just something that I need sometimes. Do things with control, though. Be careful about throwing yourself around and pulling and yanking, especially when you're doing something that's new. Like this move here, I sit to the side and then do the back knee. I don't want to drag my kneecap around on the floor. I mean, at the beach, it's different, right? So you'll turn your chest towards your left leg, do a little bit of a dip. Hands can be on blocks here, and then sit up again. And with control, do that again. Lower down, and slowly lifting up. With as much control as you can, do this as many times as you want. Just notice if something starts to drive into the floor in an uncomfortable way. You probably don't want to let that happen. I mean, that hurts, so why would you do that? With as much control as you can, pick up the back leg and come into a seated spinal twist shape. You can also always straighten the bottom leg if this twist doesn't work out for you. I like to hug the knee to sit tall, and my backhand is quite close. Breathing up into the chest is something that I enjoy. It helps me stay seated evenly. A counter twist, you might do it, you might not. I like it. Then undo the legs and come to what would be a comfortable seat for you. Baddha Konasana legs like I have here, feet together, knees wide, or straddle, or some other such shape that works for you so that you can pause and breathe. Take a few breaths there, and then rising up. Keep the spine long. You can do any variation of Navasana. I'm just going to do the one that works for me. I'm holding on to my toes, probably. Flexing the feet though. See, I don't really like to hold on for very long. With control, bring them together. Sit tall, maybe fold again. I'm grounding my thigh bones here. Not necessary all the time. Sometimes I like to do it because it helps me. And then to give my back a rest, I'm wrapping my arms around my legs, breathing in, extending, breathing, sitting, watching.